This weekend, HOLLYWOKE. We're calling it Ziowood today. We've been covering the protesting against Israel, specifically the Israeli companies that have been part of the studios, not just the studios themselves. We know the recent news that Larry Ellison, lifelong Zionist, CIA dude, whose company Oracle started as a CIA operation, Oracle, and he's a multi-billionaire who now has bought Paramount. You guys know we covered all of his investments with CBS, TikTok. He owns TikTok now. We also there's a whole string of networks from CNN to MTV, but the Paramount one is the one that hits really hard here because when we see on the flip side the actors and crew and union workers here, whether they're in SAG or WGA or IATSE. IATSE is the crew union here. So these are the people that work all of the spots, all of the movie crews that are dwindling down little by little, not even just because of the Zionist stuff, but because of AI. So we have a massive problem going on here in the movie industry. But this list of celebrities, and not just the celebrities are the ones that get mentioned, but it's actually the list has grown to 15,000. There's been now 15,000 actors or crew members that have signed the petition to boycott Israel, which means they won't be working on films that have Israeli companies behind them, whether that's post-production or any company needed during production, whether it's a food craft service company or a makeup or wardrobe department, whatever it is. And there's a lot of post departments. There's special effects companies. There's marketing, distribution companies. So any company that's tied to the film itself that is an Israeli-based company, these actors and crew members will not work on. The newest celebrities, and we'll say celebrities, the top of the list that get mentioned that have a lot of influence that have been added to this list this week, and this is why we're following up on this story, is none other than Superman actors. These Superman actors, that would be the lead actors of Superman, not the whole cast, certainly not the director. We'll get to that. David Corenswet, or however you pronounce his name, the main actor of Superman, along with the actress that plays Supergirl, have both decided to join this Workers for Palestine petition as the number has reached 15,000 that have signed on to this petition. Okay, let's get to the story by Fiction Horizon. David Corenswet, the new Superman, and Miley Alcock, who's known to playing Supergirl, she appears at the end of the film in the DCU, are getting attention after adding their names to the Film Workers for Palestine pledge. The campaign calls on film industry workers to stop with Israeli film groups that are said to have links to genocide and apartheid against Palestinians. The pledge was launched back in September, and is asking actors, filmmakers, production crew avoiding festivals and companies in Israel that, according to the group, play a part in the ongoing conflict. So 5,000 have already signed. No, it's more than that. Where did I've been seeing, okay, the numbers have been shifting. I thought it was much more than 5,000, but that's a good number. If it is 5,000, if that's the current number, we'll go with the 5,000. That's still really good, especially because it includes a lot of A-list actors like Olivia Colman, Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, Tilda Swinton, Javier Bardem, Cynthia Nixon. We know that these people have a lot of influence when they're showing up to these events, and they're saying, I'm not just wearing a pin. I'm not just wearing the Palestinian colors. I'm saying I will not take a job if it's linked to Israel. So this is very, very good news. Now, of course, and here's where we get to the hard part, the pledge has caused division. Some Hollywood figures obviously have chosen not to sign, including the rest of the Superman cast and the director. We're going to get to that soon. And they prefer to stay away from the political statements. I'm not talking about the Zionists, the psychopaths like Gal Gadot, Deborah Messing. Those guys are just insane. They are, rapid, just in these like lunatic monologues talking about how we have to stop these people, and that how Israel this, Israel that, we need to protect Israel. Everything else is anti-Semitic. We know that's going on, but I'm talking about there's a bunch of people in Hollywood that just want to keep their mouths shut. So this has led to ongoing arguments on social media, film events, within movie productions. Hollywood now appears to be split. This is good. This is good that Hollywood is split. Hollywood never was split on this issue. Hollywood has always been overwhelmingly 99.999% on the side of Israel and Zionism. It's only been these small little voices that have been kicked to the side, made an example of. Vanessa Redgrave, one of the prime examples, been made example of after she received her Oscar in 1978. She was brushed aside, not invited to parties, holding an Oscar in her hand, nobody wanting to talk to her because she dared to call out the Zionists who were threatening her life for making a documentary about Palestine in 1978. So we've come a long way. So now we have this battle. But let's say, why is Superman so important? Let's look at that, because you guys know we covered that on the show. And the movie itself is saying something about the ongoing genocide. It's actually saying something. Whether James Gunn, the director, meant for it to be saying something or not, it sounds like he didn't. He did not mean for it to be saying something. Well, guess what? That's what happens in art sometimes. Sometimes, as creators, we have to be okay with the fact that the thing we created and the reason we created it and the purpose behind the thing that we created became something else. We have to be fine with that sometimes. And that's the power of art. That's the power of storytelling, that it can go beyond the thing that it was originally intended to do, as Superman did in this case. Let this TikToker explain it. This is the best breakdown I've heard thus far of the Superman movie and what's happening as a result of the impact on the Palestinian movement. Here we go.
A new Superman movie because I heard it was pro-Palestine, but I did not expect it to actually be pro-Palestine. So let me tell you all the connections that are in the movie, but be warned, there may be a few spoilers. At the very beginning of this movie, we're introduced to this country called Boycott, which is a US-backed ally we have a strong and deep relationship with, who is led by this guy, who everyone's saying is Netanyahu, but I think he's more of a representation of the first Prime Minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, who you can see the similarity here. And Boycott is invading their neighbors, the brown nation of Jardula, who are unarmed, and they're working with Lex Luthor to steal the resources and land from these indigenous people. So Superman, being the hero he is, sides with the Jardula and steps in to stop Boycott from invading. This makes the US government very upset at Superman, and so they conspire with Lex Luthor to throw him in prison, just like they're doing to deport and detain pro-Palestinian activists and students in this country. The movie literally explains how they want to steal Jardula to get to the petroleum and resources underneath. And if we look to the real world, Gaza has a ton of natural gas resources, and Israel has already sold billions of dollars in gas contracts to companies to extract Gaza's gas as soon as the Palestinians are either ethnically cleansed or all killed in Gaza. Jardula literally looks like it could be Gaza or somewhere in the Middle East, and they show Boycott soldiers trying to shoot an unarmed child. But luckily, the heroes save the day and kick out the oppressors. And at the end of the movie, Hawk Girl grabs Ben-Gurion and drops him to his death. It's a delight to watch, honestly. My favorite scene has to be when they show that Lex Luthor has created an army of monkeys spreading online propaganda against Superman and the people of Jardula because they want to take it over and steal their resources and land. It's literally this. It's the Hasbara Israeli paid bot farms. I truly enjoy this movie. Shout out to the director for putting these themes of resistance and oppression into his movie. You guys should go watch it, I guess. But follow me for more. Thank you, and free Palestine.
Wow. So, yeah, he gives a shout out to the director. Well, again, I said we're going to get to that in a second. Don't hold your breath on James Gunn because he didn't mean any of this at all. But let's see some of the reactions to David Corenswet, him getting putting his name on the list of people that are boycotting Israel in this industry right now. Adam Emidia tweets out, Superman boycotts Israel. David Corenswet joins the boycott of the Israeli film industry. Israel may own our political and media class, but they will never own the hearts of the people. Well, they fight for the hearts of the people. I have to say that we got to give them at least the credit that they use the politics and media, particularly media. They use media to get the hearts of the people because they know how to do that with crazy taglines and one-liners and fear-mongering little snippets and the words going across the screen. You see the words going across our screen tells you what's in the episode. It's not designed to fearmonger. It's designed to let you know what we're covering today and where you can find us and who's coming on the show. But you know that they have a whole technique of triggering your emotion when you see something horrific or a headline that makes you emote. But the part Adam's saying here that they will never own the hearts of the people is because we can still kind of find ourselves most effective fighting back against the political and media capture with our storytelling. So even though the entertainment industry itself is captured, we can create our own entertainment, our own media, and that's what this is. That's what it all starts to merge together. By the way, our journalism starts to merge with our entertainment when we make documentaries, when we interview people, and we learn how to tell stories, or we can write scripts that reflect on the current events. We use time and space from earlier happenings in different lands, different times, and we use it to make analogies to what's happening now. We create worlds like the DC universe, and we can reflect with fake countries, and we'll see the similarities in these fake countries to what we're experiencing right now, as what happened in the Superman movie. Now let's get to the part where the director is not on board for what his art ended up doing. Variety reports James Gunn says that he didn't write Superman to be a stand-in for Israel and Palestine. Well, thank you for correcting that for us, Director Gunn, with the vision that you have. So amazing of a vision you had that did not include that. Absolutely 100% of that movie was written and done before anything ever happened between Israel and Palestine. Well, now we know you're lying, because you can't tell us, James, that 100% of a movie was written before anything happened between Israel and Palestine. You can tell us that you wrote it before October 7th. Okay, fine. But for you to tell us that nothing happened between Israel and Palestine doesn't make any sense. You weren't even alive when Israel and Palestine conflicts. I gotta check your age, James, but 1948, the Nakba, I believe you were not alive for that, James Gunn, unless you're way older than you look. So no, you didn't write the Superman script before Israel was founded on the death and backs and the raping and pillaging and murdering and capturing of the Palestinian people that were there in 1948 when Israel took it, when Israel came to be, that colonialization happened. Okay, so we know you're lying there, or you're dumb. He goes on, and everyone continues to refuse to believe that that's not what it's about. It's not. It just isn't. You can take whatever you want from that to mean what you want, but please, God, no, please don't come after me. I didn't mean it. It's a total coincidence. What do you mean coincidence? How could it be a coincidence? I thought Israel was the good guys. Why would anybody watching your film think the bad guy in your film was Israel? Why would anyone in Israel think that the bad guys in your film was Israel when Israel are the good guys? We would have no reason to make that correlation. We wouldn't make that, James. Why do you need to tell us this? Very interesting. Here we go. So Larry Ellison, new owner of Paramount, according to Iris, Paramount has now blacklisted the stars deemed overtly anti-Semitic and won't work with them. Oh, so you're going to boycott the boycott. Now that makes sense. You've been boycotted, Paramount, by these people because you're owned by Larry Ellison. These people don't want to work with Israeli-backed companies, and now you're going to boycott them. Ah, okay. I get it. It sure looks like the likes of Javier Bardem, Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo won't be making movies for Paramount in the foreseeable future. Ooh, I bet they're scared. Well, good that Paramount had to double down and say, well, you don't want to work with us? Well, we don't want to work with you. Under the newly appointed head, David Ellison, this is the son of Larry, okay? Paramount has made it clear that it won't do business as usual in Hollywood any longer. They're trying to reconfigure the landscape and it's already taken a toll. Variety gives insight to what's coming at Paramount. As you know, Paramount executives have been outspoken about their stance on the conflict at Gaza. Of course they have. Top-down instructions. This past September, the company became the first major Hollywood studio to publicly reject a high-profile letter. So they rejected the letter that Emma Stone and Javier Bardem, and now David Corenswet has now signed, that urged the cultural boycott of Israeli film institutions accused of engaging in genocide and apartheid against Palestinians. Oh, and then Warner Brothers also took that position. So they're not going to be working with Warner Brothers either. Well, there they are. There's that lineup. Sources tell Variety that has gone as far as Paramount creating a sort of blacklist. You are going to blacklist the boycotters. Love it. Good plan, guys. You're blacklisting the talent of the studio will not be working with these people because they're boycotting you, so you're going to blacklist them. Okay, we got this. They're deemed to be overtly anti-Semitic as well as xenophobic. And to top it all off, homophobic. Well, good for you, Paramount, for setting the record straight on that one. And good for James Gunn for letting us know that his art is smarter than he is, that his vision that he went in with isn't nearly as powerful as the vision that came out. Thanks for letting us know that you just drove the bus. You didn't really know what you were driving, did you, James? You were just the guy that got in that driver's seat and said, come on, everybody, we're making a Superman movie. Well, your Superman movie ended up being something bigger than it ever was meant to be. And that is, by definition, what we call amazing art. That doesn't happen very often, especially today. So kudos to the actors who are on board with this and anybody else who can get this message out there about this film. And Superman is actually somebody for the people. The actor himself is standing up and doing the thing that the character is supposed to do and hasn't done since Christopher Reeve. Has not behaved this way since Christopher Reeve. He's behaving now, not just on screen, in real life.